And there we are. What's going on, everyone? What's going on, guys? We are live. Thanks for coming back to Meet Your Maker. I know we're a couple minutes late. I apologize, but we are here as promised. And if it's your first week here, thank you so much for coming in. If you are a returning fan, you're just as cool as the rest of them, man. Thank you guys so much for making this real. And if you didn't know, Meet Your Maker, we like to bring in different makers throughout the community, whether it be content makers, company owners, whoever it is. We want to bring them in. We want to get to know them. And this week, I will let this gentleman introduce himself. So go ahead and tell them all who you are, sir.
Yeah, so my name's Chris. Hi. I live in Utah and I owned, started, created, invented this little beard product company called Kuhn. And that's me. Started about a year and a half. Well, shoot. Yeah, a year and 9 months ago. And here we are.
Okay. And if you guys didn't, I mean, if you guys haven't seen it yet, or if you might have seen it but didn't know who it was, that's the man that makes these guys right here.
Yeah.
He makes these beautiful boxes.
hmm
And inside of those beautiful boxes, they're not just good looking boxes. They're not just like the girl at the bar with the nice hair, but when you get closer, it's like, whoa, what's going on? No, that's not what this is.
Yeah.
Inside are these beauties
Yeah,
that
man.
are amazing products, straight up
Yeah.
amazing products. And I mean, you can see my black C right there. This is
Yep.
this is a beauty right here. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun seeing that stuff on camera, man. It's fun to,
Ah,
it goes from conception to in somebody's hands. I mean, that's
and we are going to go through
fun.
every step of that, dude, because I was
Cool.
actually, trust me, man, I got tons for you. But so what we like to do on here is just kind of give everybody a broad stroke of who you guys are in case they've never
Yeah.
heard of you before or whatever might have it, right? So
Yep.
you just said the name of your company, Kuhn. And
hmm
a lot of people see the name, they don't know what it means though.
or they don't know how to
You've
say
told,
it, or yeah.
yeah, you've told
Yeah.
me what it means. So go
hmm
ahead and tell the rest of them what it means now.
Yeah. So Kuhn is Deutsch. It's a German word. It means uh, bold, brave, courageous. It's just like this great word that sort of encompasses everything that um, sort of like this mantra that I try to live by. Growing up. I shouldn't even say growing up. I'm 41, about to turn 42. I'd say for the last 15 years, I've I really enjoy reading. I love reading, and one of my favorite type of books to read are like stories, like true stories of survival and stuff like that, of people that lost at sea or whatever, that have faced death and thought they were going to die, probably should have died, then somehow made it out miraculously. And they all have this sort of same message, like changes them so much that they want to live life differently. They want to, be just live like more fully, not get caught up in the everyday sort of stuff. And they have a different perspective. And so it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to have to like face death to sort of learn that lesson. I'm going to try to learn that lesson without having to live it myself. And so, um, yeah, so I tried to just like take chances, have fun, go look for adventures, just do something instead of just sort of sitting around. I guess not. There's anything wrong with that, I guess, but um, man, I just want to live life. So anyway, that's where sort of Kuhn came from. Is like, man, this is perfect. This is what I want to. This is how I spread my message. The gospel of Kuhn out there, and help people understand what it is that I'm trying to convey, I guess, and what it is that I do.
But you know what? The word is just a word, really, because realistically, if you get into this company and you start getting to know the people behind it, there's another major influence behind this, and that's where you're from, correct?
Yeah, man, Utah, baby. So, um, I didn't grow up in Utah. I was actually born in Omaha, Nebraska, and lived there till I was 12. Then moved to Kansas City until my senior year. Then moved to San Diego for a little bit after high school. But then I moved up to Utah for a little bit to go to school, and I fell in love with it. And so I ended up leaving, went to Germany for a couple of years, came back home, came back out to Utah, met my wife. We lived here for years and went back to Illinois for about 10 years. And so when we came back, I was like, all right, I'm going back to Utah. I'm now going to take advantage of everything that I took for granted before and just really appreciate this state. In fact, I remember when I was moving out here, I was living in this little city called Rockford, Illinois, not the best city in the world. And when I was getting ready to head back, my friends were like, "Man, why would you want to go to Utah, or whatever?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, you were in Rockford, Illinois, and you're questioning me why I want to go live in Utah? Like, Utah's unreal, man. It's unbelievable." And so, basically, what it was is a friend of mine, Justin, who helps or part of the company as well, as we'd go on these adventures up in the mountains and stuff, and then that sort of spawned this idea of this company, whatever. And so I wanted to make sure that Kuhn was infused with the state of Utah so that people could understand, hey, look, this is what the message is, but I also want to deliver and bring a piece of Utah to whomever it is that wants to, try this product. That's where the sort of logo came from. Okay, with the mountains and stuff in there,
Yeah,
because
right.
it's all one, man. Like Utah is unbelievable. Like everybody should come visit. I'm not saying you should live here, but everybody should come visit at least once in their life. And
Chris is like, I ain't saying you should come destroy my home and overpopulate it, but you can come on by for a little while, hang out. It's cool.
Well, it's not for everybody, and I get that, but dude, Southern Utah is unbelievable. The skiing around Salt Lake and Park City is another world. Not too far from here, this little place called Antelope Island is almost like a different world in and of itself. There's just so much to see out here that, man, if I can spread the word that, hey, Utah is just an awesome place. We're growing like crazy. But anyway, that was the idea. All right, this is the company, Kuhn. It means this, and it's from Utah, and I want it to go hand in hand with each other. Like, I don't want people to think, Kuhn, where are they from, or whatever. I want people, oh, Kuhn, yeah, man, they're that company out of Utah, whatever.
People want to know where you're at in Utah. If you want to just give them maybe like a general
Yeah.
area.
No, I'll tell them Layton. That's how you say it. You don't say the T. It's pronounced Layton.
So are you like up in the mountains, basically?
Oh, no, not exactly. About 30 minutes north of Salt Lake City. Mountains are that's what I like about living in Layton, because Salt Lake and stuff, unless you're right next to the mountains, this is going to take a bit to get up in there. With Layton and even Ogden, the mountains are literally like 7 minutes east, so I can get up there quick. So that's what I love up here, man. It's not, yeah, it's just not hard to get around everywhere. But yeah, that's where I'm at, Layton, Utah.
Ron Copper, guys, I've seen a few comments saying this, and I've had a few people DM me already saying YouTube's acting up. On our end, everything looks perfectly clear. So I don't know if there's much I can do about it. Maybe YouTube is just having some issues tonight, guys, and I apologize. I wish there was something I could do about it, but we're going to do our show. Hopefully it clears up. But, maybe Chris broke the internet. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
man.
He came on. He broke the internet. Everybody came rushing in.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. That's funny, man. So anyway, yeah, man. In fact, you should come visit Utah, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, with the way you talk about it, I'm ready to get up on. I'm gonna start walking over there, man. I'll get there one way or the other.
Man, I'm telling you, man. I went hiking up in the Uintas a couple weeks back. I spent 4 days with some buddies going backpacking and stuff. Man, it was just. I should show pictures later on. It's just that place is unbelievable. Then we were down in the desert. My wife, where she's from this little tiny town in central Utah called Cleveland, Utah. It's like 400 people or something. And where they live, it's like this literal desert. And so we'll go find some place out on the desert or close to the mountains or whatever, up in the mountains. And so this last weekend we went camping for Labor Day all weekend and just hung out. And anyway, it's no matter where you go, man, in Utah, there's something awesome just right around the corner.
I got to tell you, man, some of the videos you guys post, like of your hikes and your trips up into the mountains, really, man, some of the things you guys have around you, you're right. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Really, it is. And I can see why you told me once before that those walks are kind of where you get your inspiration on what you want to do next and how you want to do things. I can see that. It's very peaceful out there, very easy to clear your mind and get some real things flowing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's another thing too, man, is if there was any sort of message that I could convey too, it's wherever you live, man, go find the beauty in wherever it is. I mean, I remember, I think I might have told you this before. I remember when it was December of my senior year, Kansas City. We moved out to San Diego, right? So middle of senior year, moving to a whole new state, kind of challenging. I was lucky to meet some friends, and it was like a couple months into this friendship, we were hanging out at somebody's house. There was a bunch of us, and people were like, "Man, there's nothing to do here." And I'm like, "Man, we're in San Diego, California. Like, what are you talking
Right.
about? There's nothing to do here." But I got to thinking, I'm like, man, in Kansas City, we said the same thing. There's nothing to do here. It doesn't matter where you
Right.
live. When you're that age, you think, man, there's nothing to do. And so it's like there is. You just gotta go find it. Like like literally go find an adventure. And so
Is there?
whether it's Utah or San Diego or Jersey, wherever, man, go find something, it's some adventurous and enjoy
I can.
life
I
and
can.
make it one shot.
I can tell you some beautiful places in Jersey. Not the places around my home, but I can tell you some beautiful places in Jersey for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
Chris is right. Anywhere you go, there's something beautiful to see. We've seen multiple people during their summer taking their trips and where they've gone, and it's all been in their own home areas because you can't go far right now. And they found some amazing places. There's beauty out there, man. You just got to, it's not going to be sitting on your couch. You got to go find it. That's the only thing. And for me,
Yeah.
though, my chair is kind of comfortable, so I haven't really gone to any of those places lately. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like,
Well, um, all that being said, ultimately it's about just getting out of your comfort zone. And so, like with you, I know, like YouTube channel and stuff like that, that just doesn't come natural for everybody. Like that takes effort. It takes a lot of doing what you're not used to doing or have never done before. But that's dope, man. That's exactly what it's about. Whether it's getting out and seeing something you never seen before, or trying something you never tried before, it's just being like bold and taking risks and being courageous and whatever. It doesn't take any courage to just sit down and watch TV every day, every night, but it does take courage to start a YouTube channel. It takes courage to start an Instagram and be a review beard products. Like that's not easy, you know what I mean? And so that's what it's about, man. Take risks, have fun, be bold and adventurous.
no,
And
man, I got a thumbs down. I got a thumbs down on this before we even went live. They were like, you know what? We just don't like Joe. Hit the button. What are you going to do, man? You can't make everyone happy, brother. Like it is what it is, man. But let's talk about these guys, right?
Yeah,
Because not everybody knows something. I think a lot of people see this and they think, oh man, he put these boxes together and threw it. You have no idea how much these boxes drove that man insane. And that's why I want him to talk about it right now. Because I know this. I know what he went through with this.
Yeah. So basically how it started was this. It was, all right, I'm making these beard products like a month or two in, or just still messing around with stuff, making some beard balm and things like that. And I was like, man, I don't want to just put it in a regular old tin like everybody else and just have it look like everything else. Maybe I could make like a wooden container to put the beard balm inside of, carve out this piece of wood and put it in there. Then I was like, well, that's going to be difficult. Maybe I can put the wood container or the tin inside the wood and put a lid. So then you open it up and there's the aluminum in there, but when it's closed, it looks like a piece of wood. And then we did that and it looked terrible. It looked so dumb. And so then I came home one night and my son, who's 14 now, he must have been, about 12 at the time. He was like, man, why don't you just make it like almost like a jewelry box with a hinge and have it open up? And I was like, ding, ding, ding. That's perfect. So that's what I did is I made it, carved a little, brother-in-law helped me carve her circle into it, whatever, into the base and the lid, and then put a hinge on it, opened it and closed it. In fact, hold on a second. I think I have one of the first ones over here. Yeah. All right, here we go. I think I showed you this before, and so like this is what it looked like originally. I mean, you can see that it's not real round. Had a sort of single hinge, and it's just this is not attractive. And I knew that. Well, at the time anyway, I was like, oh yeah, this looks cool. But it just wasn't just didn't stand out. And I was like, well, I'm gonna keep working at it. And so then I tweaked a little bit, made it a different color. rounded things a little bit more, made it cool, showed some people. Yeah, all right, that's cool. Nothing. A couple more months go by. I'm like, I got to keep working on this. I want to get it right. I made a couple of new different designs. Nothing. Like nobody cared. And I was like, I know this can be cool. I know this can be cool. I got to figure it out. And so then I took some couple months off, and so now we're getting into, about a year later. This was earlier this year. This must have been about, like, I think maybe January, February of this past year. So I had been working on it for about a year, and I still, like, nobody bought one. When I gave them away, people were cool with it, but nobody got excited. And then finally, I had pretty much the design down, and everything was like fit good and everything like that. And I found these clasps, and then I forget what it was, but I came across these, like, those metal corner protectors, that you had on there. I was like, oh, this look kind of cool. So I got them, put them on there, and I was like, all right, this looks kind of cool. So I did it. I brought it to work. Justin and I at the time worked together. I brought it, and he was like, dude, that looks awesome. I'm like, it does? So I went back to my desk and I sat down, and this gal I know, she came over. She wanted to get some stuff for her husband, and she said, what's that? She pointed to the box. I was like, oh, that's my, box that I make for Beard Balm and stuff. She said, can I buy one of those? And I almost just, like, lost it right there, just crying.
Right.
Like, are you serious? You want to buy one? Like, oh, like, that was literally the first time anybody had ever seen one for the first time and said, hey, I want to buy that. Like, literally. And then I was like, oh, all right, finally, I think I finally got it, And so that was it, man. It was just, took forever, and it was just hours of just headache and frustration and disappointment and just everything, man. So much emotion trying to get those things figured out, because I just wanted to freaking make it cool, man. There's hardly anything cool for beard stuff out there, and I wanted to make something freaking cool, and it was just not freaking cool yet. So anyway, then that's what we have, and it's been cool, man, ever since, because that's spawned. In fact, I grabbed these other ones. That's sort of spawned some, like, other ideas, and then as I get more obsessed with, like, woodworking and stuff, then that just spawns sort of more ideas and things, and so these kind of just came together as I was making some other stuff, whatever. And so, like, this wouldn't be
nice,
here
dude. Wow.
without. Yeah, so I wanted to make. It was actually Steve, who was he actually lives here in Layton, supporter of Kuhn and stuff, and so I made those flags, and he was like, hey man, why don't you make one red, white, and blue in the one of your Mectic boxes? I was like, all right, I can do that. So I started playing around with it, and that's where these sort of
I like
red,
that.
white, and blue
I like
ones
that a
came
lot.
from.
Looks great.
So, yeah, thank you.
And you made that flag behind you?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That looks amazing too, bro. Good job. Well done, sir. Very well done.
Yeah, thanks. It's fun, man. Just like my brother-in-law got me digging on just making stuff with your hands, man, making wood, whatever. And so, yeah, that was that. It's fun, man. It's just fun making stuff. Like, let's make something that doesn't exist currently, and I'm gonna take this stuff and use my hands and put it together, and now it exists. Like, that is so much fun to me, man. Whether it's, boxes, whether it's the, wooden flag, whatever, whether it's a new beard product, whatever, it's fun just thinking about something, figuring it out, and then here it is. There's just nothing better, dude. Nothing better.
So talk to me about, like, the whole process, right? Like, let's say back when you were first getting started, right? Like, now you have a system set up, right? You've got a way of doing things.
Yeah.
Well, let's say back when you were first getting started, if somebody put an order in for oil and butter with matching boxes, from start to finish, like from the order getting placed to you getting it into a box and shipped, how long would that generally take you to get done then as compared to now?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll put it to you like this. Back in the beginning, when you're still trying to figure things out, like, I knew I needed to develop a process. Like, I couldn't just, hey, I'll make stuff whenever somebody orders it. But when you're in the beginning, hey, I don't want to just make a ton of stuff and just have it sit around because I don't even know if anybody's going to buy it, whatever. So in the beginning, from somebody placed an order, whatever, it was like, all right, I've got 3 things made over there. What they wanted is not made. So I got to go in the kitchen and make it. And then I've got to, so it would take me several hours to make, and melt, combine the ingredients, scents, and everything like that. And then if I needed to make one of the wooden boxes, it would probably take me, 2 or 3 days, because I'd, with job and everything, I'd go to get some wood, bring it back, and carve it and things like that. That would take me a couple hours. And all right, I'll get back to it tomorrow, and then go back tomorrow, and then sand it and paint it and stain it or whatever. All right, then I've got to put all the hinges on and stuff. I got to do that the next day. So it would take me, probably 3-4 days, man, from the time if somebody ordered something to making what they wanted and shipping it out. To now, like, you start to figure out a process. Like, all right, instead of just making one, whatever, whether it's one bomb or beard oil or the Mexican boxes, I'm going to make 10 every time. And then they're made. So, so now I've got a ton of ton of beard oil already made. I've got a bunch of the boxes already made. So now when people order it, grab it and ship it. At the most, it might take a couple days. If spent since COVID, man, freaking shipping and everything is taking forever. So it might take me another couple days if I'm waiting on delivery or something. But yeah, so what originally would take me 3 or 4 days from order to ship, I can now get order done and then ship the next day, no problem.
Yeah, man. So then I got to know something, right?
Yeah.
So it took like 3 or 4 days. You said, all the work of making the box. Was it really necessary to put the velvet on the inside then?
Hell yeah, man.
Didn't that just add another step at that point, dude? Like,
yeah,
you make the box, you make the wood labels, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? No. It can't just ship over here normally. It's got to ride over there in velvet, nice and smooth like.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I wanted, what I still strive for is, I want the experience to just be different, man. As I was mentioned before, I like to read, and so I read the biography of Steve Jobs. And
that's a good one.
What's the dude's name? The dude that wrote it. Well, Steve Jobs was telling a story about when he first was making computers and whatnot. One of the engineers was like putting the back on one of them or something like that, and Steve Jobs said, "Hey, this looks like crap. Why, you're going to put the back on and this looks like junk on the inside." And he said, "Well, no one's going to see that." And he's like, "Well, I know it's there."
Yeah.
So basically the message was, I want my computers to be perfect from the inside to what people see or don't see. I want it to be perfect. So I was like, man, that's the way it should be. And so I knew that I wanted to set Kuhn apart from everybody else as best I could. One of them being the boxes, but also like, what can I do to make it that much cooler? Well, let's put some velvet inside, man, and make it look awesome. So when they open it up, all right, even though it's closed all the time, when you do open it, oh man, this looks cool, and then close it. All right, this looks cool. Like, I want it just to be perfect. The whole experience has got to be righteous, man. Otherwise, what's the point?
No, I mean, what I love about them is that they're sitting in a corner of my collection, right? They sit propped up, the boxes are there, and they're attention starters a lot of the times for people who they'll see my whole collection, but then they see the boxes and they grab the box and they're like, well, what's this? All right, so what is all this stuff? And then that usually gets me down the rabbit hole, and then I'm like, you shouldn't have asked me these questions, because before you leave here today, I can convince you to buy from about 20 different companies before I'm done.
Yeah.
You might not have wanted to start this conversation.
Well, that's another thing too, man, and I appreciate you saying that, because one of the things that, I don't know if frustrates me is the right word, but one of the things that sort of scratch my head at is when I'll see like a company or whatever that I've never heard of before, somebody, Instagram or whatever, post a picture of typically a beard oil bottle, whatever, of this new company. And I'm thinking to myself, if I put that on a shelf even 3 feet away with every other beard oil company out there, you would not be able to tell which one is which. Like you literally couldn't. And so one of the things that like I always wonder is like, why wouldn't you want to make your bottle stand out if it was 3 feet, 5 feet, 8 feet away? Like you should be able to easily pick out which one is what. And a lot of them you just can't. And so that's exactly why I do what I do, from the boxes to the square bottles to the wooden labels. Like I feel like if you put my bottle up with 100 other bottles, you could easily point mine out easily and easier than anybody else's. That's the way it's supposed to be, man. You got to brand yourself properly, I think. And I just don't know. It seems like a lot of, I don't know. I don't want to make it seem like I'm dogging on some of these other brands, because there's some really good stuff out there.
No. I hear what you're saying now. I hear what you're saying. Like, and it's not just like you don't have to make wooden boxes to stand out.
Yeah.
It can be as simple as, instead of using the normal amber, you use a white bottle. You use something that pops. I get what you're saying. Just you wanted to make something that stood out from the rest, something that made your product just, if nothing else, if it, like you said, if it was sitting on a shelf with 100 different beard oils, as they walk by going, that one's nice. That, wait, what's that? Kind of deal.
Yep.
Like, if nothing else, the appearance of it made people go, well, what is that? I want to know what that is real quick.
Exactly. And that's another thing too, like you said about with the bottles. And there's all sorts of different colors of bottles. Like even when I first was trying to like find the square bottles, I found these clear ones and they were black. So I was like, well, maybe I can paint them. So I literally painted them and they came out fine. Like, so you could even take amber and paint bottles. There's all different colors of even the droppers. There's
Rob, they absolutely do. Sorry, he was asking if the quality of the products match the presentation, and they absolutely do. They absolutely do.
Well, I think that's a very fair question. Not only a fair question, that's the right question to ask. Because,
absolutely.
You know, what's that Tommy Boy one where, you know, polish a turd or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
It might look great.
You can polish a turd up all you want, but it's still a turd. Like
yeah. And so the bottle can look great, box, everything can look great, but if the ingredients and the product sucks, then man, you just did a good job of fooling people, I guess. And then no one's going to come back. So what's the point? And so it was a process. The very, very first thing, the absolutely first thing that I knew I had to get right was the product itself. Whether, in fact, the very first thing I made was actually beard balm. I wasn't even a big fan of beard oil at the time. So first thing I made was beard balm. And I worked at it until I felt like I got the consistency and everything and the scent and all that right. And then you progress. Like, it wasn't, all right, I'm going to make these bottles and everything first and then figure out the product. It was, no. I got to figure this product out first. Once that's nailed, then let's go to step 2. How does it look? Okay. Then I got the tins right, and then the wooden labels. Okay, great. Then let's go to step 3. Whether that's different scents or how can I still improve the look or whatever. And so it's a progression. But the absolute very first thing was the product itself. And I'm not saying everybody is going to love my Kuhn's product, whatever, but I know for a fact not everybody uses cold pressed oils that we do. I know for a fact not everybody puts as much effort into the way it the full scent, top, middle, base notes and everything like that. Like, it's got to be complete package, man. It's got to look awesome. It's got to perform awesome. It's got to smell awesome. I mean, because if one of those, it's like a 3-legged stool. If one of them doesn't perform, and it's going to fall.
Rob, to answer your question, sir, favorite scents, Black Sea, and Chris knows this. This is my all-time favorite, the Black Sea. White Sand is another really nice one. His mahogany one is very nice. Or is it mahogany, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the mahogany one that has, even though it's labeled mahogany, it has multiple different ones in there. The birchwood one is real nice. He's got a few really good ones that are just very nice scent profiles. The butter is really nice, and the oil feels great in beard. I don't use bombs much. I'm kind of the opposite of Chris. He loves bombs. I'm not a big bomb guy.
Well, yeah, and that was another thing too, man. As I was making this stuff, I was like, well, I don't like this, so I'm not going to make it, and I don't like this, so I'm not going to make it. Then I find out, man, just because I don't like it,
exactly,
or just because I might like a scent doesn't mean everybody else is. So you got to expand your mind. Like, okay, this is what people want. This is what I should make, or figure out how to make it, whatever. And that with butter was perfect example of that, because I was never really liked butter. So I was like, well, why am I going to make one? And then everybody was like, well,
And
we want one. Oops.
as
All
a
right, cool.
business owner, that's something you have to learn, right? Just because you might not like a certain scent profile or a certain whatever it might be, but if your customers are going to love it, well, then you kind of got to go, okay, I don't know why they love it. I think it smells terrible, but they all love it. So here you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, exactly. This, and it goes both ways. There's some stuff that I make that I'm like, man, this is cool, and literally no one else likes it. And then there's some stuff that I just don't like, but it's people want, popular. All right, I've got to make it. So I might make something that people don't like, great, and I might need to make something that I don't like. So it's just, but it's all about taking chances, taking risks, but also listening to what people want and people are saying. But and then also, okay, this is what I'm hearing. Well, what if I went at it from sort of this direction, still gave them what they wanted, but maybe hit them with something a little bit different? Because I don't want to just make the same crap as everybody else. Let me make some same idea, but let me add this, or let me tweak this, and anyway, so it's anyway same, kind of like the idea with putting kaolin clay in a lot of different things. It was all right. Let's make this as like everybody else, but let's tweak it a little bit. Let me add this and give it a little bit different of a sort of experience. But again, so it's, yeah, bottom line is about taking chances, taking risks, recognizing when something's a dumb idea, then also listening what people say, and giving people really what they want, man.
Yeah. Do you remember the conversation we had when you sent me this?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember
Uh-huh. Yeah, man.
that?
Yeah, I still, so this, in fact, this is how I've been using it lately. So you was you and a couple other people also messaged me too, like, hey Chris, this clay spray is kind of cool, but what do I use it for? And I'm like, I don't really know. Like
It
yeah.
was the funniest response I had ever gotten, because to me it was
uh,
like I'm like, Chris, what do I do with this? And he's like,
uh,
I don't know, hell if I know, dude. Like, I don't know. Throw it in your
yeah,
beard, bro. It feels good. Like, I don't know. What do you
yeah,
want me to tell you? Like,
yeah. Well, because that was the thing. I was like, I know that like there's a lot of great stuff in this spray, and everything in it is great for your beard. I'm gonna make it and just give it to people and say, hey, help me figure out how to use this. So I'll tell you how I've been using the last probably 2 weeks. Is I use it as my pre-spray for before blow drying my beard, because
okay.
heat is terrible on your hair. Like heat is like, that's one of the worst things you can do for your hair, whether it's beard or your head hair, whatever. Heat is incredibly damaging. And so you put, there's all sorts of different, like women have all sorts of different products that you can put on as a sort of heat protectant blow, whether it's blow drying your hair or flat ironing your hair. There's all these different things that you can put in to protect your hair. And so that's what I've been using it for. Like I said, the last couple of weeks is in the morning time after I shower, I'll towel it off, towel dry, and then I'll use I got the birchwood scented clay spray, and I'll probably 5, 7, 8 sprays, whatever, into my beard, comb it through my hands, then brush it through, and then blow dry it. And it really is a lot better on your beard when you have that, some moisturizers and things like that, to that as acts as a barrier between the heat and your hair itself. So that's how I've been using it. And so that's sort of how I'm starting to lean as far as how I've been using it.
Now you just brought up the women, and Kuhn Lady has launched. How's that
Yeah.
going so far?
Yeah. Oh man, I tell you, it could be going better, but that's why this is like so much fun. Is this is incredibly difficult to navigate, because and people have told me that, like, Chris, why in the world would you want to get into this industry, this multi-billion-dollar industry with thousands and thousands of different products and brands and all that? Like, that's just dumb. And I was thinking, it is kind of dumb, but it's kind of exciting too. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. And so um I've got these products that I'm 100% convinced are a lot better than most any other, the like women's products, skin and face products, that kind of thing. But it's a question of how do I get people to believe me and take a chance and get people to hear about it. Same sort of issues I had with Kuhn in the beginning is how do I get the name out, whatever. Um, and it's been challenging, man, but it's fun, dude. That is so much fun to try to figure that out, and because I know it's good, dude. I know that Lady Kuhn stuff is awesome. Like I know it is. So I'm good with that. Now it's just a matter of how do I freaking figure out how to get people to try this, you know? And so I'm still working through that, and it's still selling okay, but not as well as I know it could. I think if women knew how good the stuff was, then it would be hard to keep it in stock. And again, I know that sounds probably kind of arrogant, but stuff's good, man. This stuff is freaking is it's good, dude. It's good.
I mean, as an owner, you're not going to say like you're not going to get up there and go, "Yeah, I made these products. They suck terribly, though. They're just the
I
worst
know.
thing on the
Yeah.
planet." But hey, by the way, spend your money on them, please. Please
Well,
go
I
buy
know
them.
that's the fine line that you walk, right? I believe my stuff is, whether it's Kuhn or Lady Kuhn, the stuff is awesome. And on one hand, that man, thank Chris, it sounds kind of arrogant to feel that way. But if I said, yeah, I think my stuff is subpar at best, I mean, it's okay. Then it's like,
Right?
well, why in
Yeah.
the world are you making stuff if you don't believe it's the best? You know. Um, and so I'll say this. I think my stuff is awesome, and I also think there's other awesome stuff out there. It's about finding the best product that you like. I think people might not like all my scents. Great, cool. People might not like I don't like a real shiny beard, so everything I formulate is so it's not super shiny and greasy. Some guys really like a shiny beard. Great, my stuff's not going to be for you. Then go find somebody else. And so for yeah, I think my stuff's awesome and the best for what I'm trying to do. But I also think there's some really awesome quality products out there, man, that might do better at something else than what I do.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're right though. Like, especially in that women's line, man, that's got to be a crazy world to break into because, I mean, just go to your local CVS or something like that, dude, and go walk down the women's cosmetic aisle.
Dude, that's literally
It's
that's
absolute
yeah.
insanity.
That's what I do. That's what I've done for the last year or so. When I first started thinking about doing that, every time I still do it every time I go to whether it's grocery store or Target or Walmart, if I'm on Amazon or if I'm at wherever, I always go to the women's aisle and look at their stuff, and just it's mind-boggling how much crap there is. And then I'll look at a lot of the
It's
stuff,
scary.
and yeah,
My daughter's
yeah,
13. My daughter's just getting to the age where that stuff matters.
yeah.
It's scary.
But here's the real eye-opening thing for me was once I started looking at all this stuff and figuring out how to formulate whatever, whether it's a hand lotion or a moisturizing cream, whatever. Once you realize what is out there and what I have access to put in, and then you see what these other companies put in, it's like this company is putting in crap. That's why it's cheap. Or this company's putting in crap and they're still charging more than they should for it. And it's like, okay, that's why I can make it better, because instead of using these junk ingredients that this company uses, this and that synthetic ingredients, because it's super cheap, I'm going to use some higher quality stuff, and it's a noticeably different. It's the same idea with beard oil and
Well,
beard balm
that's
and
what
stuff.
drove a lot of us into the small batch world and the beard world was
Yeah.
that you walked into the store, a lot of the stuff on the shelf was not so good, but then you
Yeah.
find out there's this whole community of small batch makers who are out there doing it the right way,
Uh-huh.
making high quality, all natural products, and that's what's gotten a lot of us here.
Exactly. Same exact idea. Same exact idea. Hey, you can go to the grocery store and buy this, and because you've never tried anything else, it's okay. Or you can try this small batch beard oil, beard balm, beard butter, whatever. You can try this small batch moisturizing cream, whatever, from this company, and it's probably way better than what you're using, and probably not that much more expensive, if more expensive at all.
For me, it was a lot better. The first thing I ever tried in the store was not fun.
Yeah, I remember. Same, man. I think that's probably how we all started, right? The very first thing I tried at the store, I didn't realize was junk until I've tried something else, and I was like, wow,
I
this
didn't know
sucks. Like,
exactly at the time. But honestly, what that first thing in the store did for me was make me think, all right, so maybe beard products aren't for me. That's what it made me
Yeah,
start
yeah,
thinking. And
yeah,
then I went and I was like, well, wait, let me look up some more. And then I found like Honest Amish, and that was better. And I'm like, all right, so this is good, but I don't really like the scent profiles here.
yeah,
So I started doing more research, and now years later, I've got more beard oils than I can probably even. I could probably use a different beard oil every day for the next year.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, totally.
but I'm thrilled. I love my collection. They're all some amazing companies, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun watching new owners constantly try and outdo not even the other owners, but yourself.
Hmm.
You guys are always trying to do better than you did last time, and that's a lot of fun to
Yeah,
watch.
yeah. I think you hit it on the head too, man. That's what I've seen, which it can be frustrating and disheartening, but also uh, gives me a lot of uh, hope, I guess. Like there's a lot of guys that don't like or have not liked beard products in the past because, like you, they tried something and it sucks, so they just figured we're all gonna be like that. Like I'm gonna feel super greasy, and it's like it's not gonna wash out because I use this junk product. I'm just assuming they're all the same, and so when you can get them to try something new and recognize that, hey, just because this sucked doesn't mean they all suck, and it's expand their mind and just like, wow, there's a whole world out there of stuff that I didn't realize was out there. That's a cool thing to see, man. Whether it's they're buying my stuff for somebody else's, just seeing somebody who hated initially and then now loves it, like that's
What you're
cool, man.
saying right now was my cousin's boyfriend a week ago. So
Yeah.
he messaged me and he goes, Joe, first of all, what the hell are you reviewing all the time? I go to my store every day. There's like 4 things on the shelf.
Yeah.
He's like, so what have you been spending a year of your time doing with 4 companies? I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? He's like, I've tried everything at the local stores around me and they all suck. And I'm like, well, obviously, first of all, you haven't been watching my channel. So ouch.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for
Yeah.
that one. I
Yeah.
said, secondly, here, come by the house later. I'll make up a box of a couple things I'm not using right now. And you can go try some real beard products and tell me what you think. And then about 3 or 4 days later, he messaged me and was like, so where do I get more of all this stuff? I was like, just follow my
Yeah.
Instagram, click on my
Yeah.
page, start
Yeah.
scrolling. You'll find it all. Have fun. I said,
Hmm.
have fun because you're walking into the world I walked into. Have fun.
Yeah. That's what's been super hard. I mean, all the different things that are so challenging with COVID and everything was that's one of the most disappointing things for me is summertime, spring and summer, and even fall, like some of the local farmers markets, to be able to get out and see somebody try something for the first time. Like I get to visually see them, hey, this is what this is. You've never heard it before. Put this on your hands and rub it through your beard, and then to see their like whether their face lights up right then or say, you know what, let me come back, and then they come back 20 minutes later, like my face has never felt this great. Let me buy whatever it was that you gave me. Like there's nothing better than that, man. It's nothing better than that, and I don't get to see that right now because it's all like online or in,
Yeah, right, right.
you know what I mean. So that kind of
Travis,
sucks,
have a
but
good night, brother, man. Be good.
um,
Yeah,
you know,
COVID has. I would imagine COVID has changed things for a lot of the owners out there because
yeah,
I know a lot of them did the farmers markets
yeah,
and like the convention things and stuff like
hmm,
that, and it was how locally they grew their business. Obviously, the online helped them grow worldwide, but locally, getting
yeah,
like the barber shops and stuff like that, a lot of those farmer markets and things like that helped them do those things. And they said without them, man, it's hurt a lot of these guys a lot, really.
yeah, yeah, and that was yeah, and that's true, man. It does kind of suck. Um, for me, when the very beginning when I was started making this and selling this stuff, I got thinking, okay, what are the different avenues that like should I just sell online or should I try to get into a big store or whatever? And so what I came to was focusing on three areas. It's online sales, um, barbershops, and the markets and stuff like that. Like
Right, right.
I was like, those are the three areas that I'm going to focus on, and because you can't just do one, or like you're leaving a whole lot of opportunities out there. And so, fortunately for me to be able to be in some of the local barber shops, yes, it sucks that I can't do any local market stuff like that, but that has been great because um, if you've never used beard product before, ever, who are you going to listen to? You're going to listen to the person that's trimming it that you've trusted with your hair and your beard
Right,
for however
right.
long. If he or she says, "Hey, you should try this," then you're going to buy it. And so that was one of the reasons I wanted to focus on shops. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, yeah. So, man, my advice to any go those guys like that would be the same advice that I would give myself. I mean, you gotta be able to, you gotta explore some other avenues. You know.
So, is there any hopes for you? Like, is it something you would like to happen, or is this something that you've never really even thought of per se, where Kuhn could become your full-time gig?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. That's the goal. Is yeah. I want to get it to a point where it's like this is sort of my vision. I'm not going to be in any stores, grocery stores, nothing like that. It's going to be product that you can only find online or in like nice barbershops. And I want it to be nationwide, and I want to have or worldwide. And yeah, I want to have a manufacturing distributing plant where everything's made. And yeah, absolutely, man. I totally would love to do this full time. I mean, really, what I would like to do is get it to a point where I can just stay in a lab all day making stuff and I have to worry about anything else because that's what I enjoy the most. Um, but that, yeah, that, I mean, I fully understand that's a long ways off if it ever does happen. But yeah, totally, man. I would love to do just be able to, and not even from a selfish standpoint. Like it's not one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I want to get this big and just have a successful company and be set for life and all that. That's nothing to do with it at all. It's I know the junk that's out there. I'd like to be big enough so I can get and push those other junky products out and let's other guys that are making great stuff, let's get bigger so we can push the junk that's out there off the shelves. There's just so much crap out there. I mean, that's the reason I started this because the crap I bought on the shelf at Walgreens that one night. Like that company has no business being on anybody's shelf. No business, but it is. And so
I mean,
if
you know what, man? So many different people out there, and sometimes I'm amazed at things, but you know what? Walgreens world and Walmart worlds and all that stuff, they have their ways of doing things too. And it's crazy because they have a certain rule you have to follow, a certain way you have to make your products to be on their shelf. And
yeah,
I just don't know if there's ever a way to really
that's a good
change
point.
what's on the shelf per se, because to get on that shelf, you have to follow their rules to be on the shelf. Like,
Yeah,
so
that's a good
just
point.
per se here, I don't know if like a small batch that we all know and loved was doing great. And then somebody came to them and said, hey, we can get you in these stores. But in order to do that, you have to change this, you have to change that. You
Yeah,
can't do this anymore. Well, that's where like the give and take is there because as the small batch, you're amazing. The store offers you a huge opportunity, but you have to change everything about your product. So I don't know if things like that can be changed as much, which is why I just enjoy this little community of ours as it grows more and more. And I love seeing new people when they get in here and they're like, man, all I thought that there was like these 3 or 4 things on my local CVS shelf. There's so many awesome companies out there I didn't even know about. And I'm like, all you got to do is look. Honestly, all you got to do is do some searching. And they're out there to find, man.
yeah. You know what? That's a good point. I think, yeah, I think that I shouldn't even say if when it needs to get to the point, or when it gets to the point where it's similar as like the women. For the most part, all women know where to buy quality hair skin products, and it's
Oh,
not
forget
at
it, man. My
Walgreens and
sister,
CVS. You know, it's they know where to go. You get it, and they know where
man,
they would
my
need to go to
sister has
spend.
boxes coming in 24/7 of skincare line and stuff. Places I've never even heard of, but They're the best
Yeah,
in the world, apparently. I have
yeah,
no idea what they are, though.
yeah. And so women know that, and so it just when you get to the point where that's just a common knowledge thing too of guys. Like, all right, it's just common knowledge. If I want some junk, I'll go here. If I want some good stuff, these are the companies that are. This is where I'm going
Well,
to get it. Whatever, you know.
that's a lot like what the women in my life have told me is CVS, Walgreens, things like that, or
Yeah,
for oh my God, I forgot to order this,
yeah,
and now I got to wait 2 days for the one I normally use to get here, so I can go find at least a decent substitute
yeah,
at the store, but it's not the one they want to use full time, and
yep.
that's understandable and that's fine, but there's just so many good things out there. And that's what I tell people all the time. And I tell my friends too, I'm like, listen, I know you think I'm weird with the beard products, but if the time ever comes where you're going to try something, please talk to me first. Don't
Yep.
just go buy some random thing.
Yeah,
Talk to me first, please. Because I don't
yeah,
want you to go through the same steps I had. I can save you all that, man.
yeah,
I can
yeah,
send you in a
exactly.
direction of great companies right off the bat.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and like I think a lot of us we might even get frustrated, like, man, why don't people know? Or, why are people buying this when they could be buying this? But you think about it, dude, beer products I haven't even been around for like
No,
10 years. You know what I mean? Like hardly, they haven't been around for hardly at all. And there's
it's
so
still
many dudes that are still, so it's still this such in its infancy.
Yeah, that's what
And
I tell people. It's still relatively in its growing stages, really. Like, it is still very new. It's still very, like, I still get looks all the time from people like, wait, you review what? Like, you said beer products? No, beard. Beard. They're like, what's a beard product? Like, a lot of people still don't even know what the stuff is. So
yep.
it's still very new, but it's getting bigger. The world is starting to find out more and more. And that's all we can do, man. It's just keep trying to tell everybody, look over here. Look over here. Look at what we got over here. Look at the companies we know about over here.
Yeah, and that's why like it's so exciting to see it. I love seeing, man, new companies pop up. Like if I see a new review that you do in a company I've never heard of before, hey, this is a new company. I'll jump on their page and see like, man, they literally just started. Like that's exciting, man. Because the more companies that start and the more companies that get into it, the more the word spreads. And so um, I'm of the opposite opinion as a lot of other business owners I've ever heard talk about. Well, the days of making a beer company are, long gone. If you really want to do this, then you should have done it 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm like, man, you guys are idiots. No, we need more and more and more people jumping in here because that's just more beard oil that's getting sold. That's more beard oil and stuff getting into people's hands, and it's just going to continue to snowball. And so I want more and more people jumping in on this, man, because
Dude, I got
that's
a
how
crazy
that's how we're
dream that's
growing.
never going to happen, but I still have this crazy ass dream where one day I'm going to have a store filled with nothing but like small batch owners and their
Yeah,
products, all you
totally.
guys just all around me. And all I
Yeah.
get to do all day long is have people come in. I get to talk about the beard products on the wall,
Uh-huh.
sell some stuff, and I get to go home.
Yeah.
Like I that would be like heaven. It'll probably never
Uh-huh.
happen, but that would be heaven. That would be a lot of fun, you know?
Uh-huh.
All right, man.
Man,
So
yeah.
I know you've watched the show a few times. I know we've
Yeah.
talked about it. And you know I got my random question section where
Yeah, man. Fire, dude.
I
Fire.
just I just fire a bunch of random.
Uh-huh. Please.
You ready, sir?
Yeah.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Oh, that one's well, tea for sure. I don't drink coffee. I never drink coffee. I think it's freaking gross. And so
See, I'm glad
tea.
somebody else thinks
Yeah.
like me. All right, cool. Beer or wine?
Neither. Unfortunately, I don't drink.
Really?
Yeah, but
Wow.
if I
Okay. I
did,
didn't know that.
let's pretend that I did. I could see myself chugging a beer. I mean,
Okay.
I totally could, but yeah,
Steak or chicken?
steak, 100%.
Hamburger or
Medium,
hot dog?
medium rare, and a
No. Whoa, 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 whoa,
expensive
whoa,
steak
whoa.
too.
No, no. Steaks are supposed to be cooked all the way through, sir. Well done.
No,
Well done.
man, bloodier the better, dude. In fact,
No.
so yeah, so there's two. Let me break this into two different groups, okay? The regular sort of beef steak, I want medium rare, and I want aged, and I want like expensive, man. I want to just prime,
Right, right.
inch and a half thick, like just killer. And then you have, like, especially out here in Utah, which is very common, you got a lot of hunters, right? So elk,
Yes, yes,
venison,
that's right. In
whatever.
your area, that's very common. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And so if I'm eating elk or venison or something like that, this is what I want. I want it cooked on one side for about 10 seconds, cooked on the other side for about 10 seconds, and then let me eat it. And it's just bloody as hell. And it's so good, man. So, yeah, I know. I
I
know.
just had this vision of sitting across my dad. God, sorry, Dad. I know. God rest his soul. I love the man. But my father would actually walk into restaurants, and when he would order his steak, the woman would say, "How do you want that cooked?" He'd say, "Walk it through a hot room, slap it on the ass,
Yeah.
and throw it on my
Yeah.
plate, please." That's
Yeah. You know,
and he meant
which I
it.
totally get. Yeah, which I totally get. I just don't think steak tastes good like that, but game, like fresh game, whatever, nothing better. Anyway, so yeah, there's the answer.
All right, hamburger or hot dog?
I'm gonna say hot dog, man. Hebrew National is the only way to go. Best hot dogs on the planet.
Cake or ice cream?
Ice cream, man.
See, Sam is
Uh,
gonna love this. People just keep picking ice cream. I tell you,
yeah, dude.
my
I
daughter would
love
live
me.
off ice cream if I let her.
Man. Same, dude. Freaking love me some
Any
ice
kind
cream.
of favorite? Like any specific favorite ice cream?
Rocky Road, dude. Get me
Oh,
a
my brother from
yeah.
another. Look at that, sir.
Let me tell you how
Awesome
I like it,
choice.
man. I'm gonna get me a big, huge glass, and I'm gonna put 3 or 4 scoops of Rocky Road and
Hmm.
shove it down and pack it as tight as I can. Then pour some milk right in there and just eat it like that.
Oh,
Oh man,
man,
there's
now I want. See, now I want ice
oh
cream, dude. Way to go. Thanks a lot. Way to
yeah,
go.
same,
I mean, it was
same.
my question, but still, thanks a lot. Um, Pepsi or Coke?
Oh, Coke, and which is
Ugh.
weird. I grew up. I mean, this is yeah. So this is how I am. I drink diet now, which I just can't drink regular soda. But anyway, if when I was younger, it was Pepsi all day long. I hated regular Coke, but now that I drink diet, I can't drink Diet Pepsi. I think it's nasty, but I do
You
drink
know
Diet
what?
Coke. I think Diet Coke is.
Since you said you drink diet, I can understand that because I've had Diet Pepsi. Diet
Ugh,
Pepsi is not good, dude. I don't know
yeah,
why, but in our household, we are Pepsi drinkers. So,
yeah, and I support that. I definitely support that.
um, what's my play? Okay, here we go. Tennis or golf?
Oh, golf. If I'm flipping through the channels and there's a killer tennis match or killer golf, I'm watching golf.
Okay,
Actually, let me answer this way: if Tiger Woods is playing, I'm watching golf, dude. I am watching golf.
okay.
If he's not playing and got like Djokovic or Nadal or whoever the current awesome players are, I'm probably watching tennis.
I
But if
understand, sir.
Tiger's playing, I won't watch it. I'll watch golf all day long.
Um, go to the woods or go to the beach?
Oh man, these are great. If I had the choice, woods or beach? Oh my gosh, man, I would say beach. You know what?
Really? I so
Yeah,
thought you would tell me the woods on that one.
yeah,
Wow.
and I wanted to, but let me break it down like this. Remember, I was telling you about how I moved from Kansas City to San Diego in high school.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
When the way the school was, high school was on Fridays, we didn't have seventh period, so we got out of school at like 1 or something like that. And so we'd go hit the gym real quick, get a pump, and then drive straight to the beach, and then just hang out at the beach the rest of the day. And there was nothing better. I mean, there's just nothing better than a beautiful sunny day and just hanging out on the beach all day long. Like I just, as much as I love being up in the mountains and things like that, I could spend 12 hours sitting in the sand at the beach easier than I could just spend 12 hours up in the mountains. Beach.
Okay.
Oh my
Fair
gosh, man,
enough,
there's
sir.
nothing. But they're both
Fair
good.
enough.
Yeah.
Um, go for a hike or sit on social media?
Hike all day, man. Oh, all day. Screw
I know
social
I didn't even
media.
have to ask that one. I just thought it would be fun still.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny.
Um, favorite action movie?
Uh, does does Braveheart count as action?
Braveheart counts, sir. I mean,
That's
Braveheart
yeah. That's
absolutely counts. It would be like an
that's that,
epic action, but yeah, it
yeah.
counts. Yeah, absolutely.
That's been my favorite movie for since forever. But Legends of the Fall is also on there. Like those are two
Oh,
movies that I
that's a
could
good
just
one. That was just on too. I was just
yeah.
watching that a little
Oof.
while ago. That was a good one. Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah.
Favorite music, like favorite music genre.
And that was tricky. I'll answer it this way. Anything extreme. What I mean by that is it's got to be extreme heavy. So, I mean, like metal, uh, screamo, whatever,
Right,
just
right, right.
crazy
Okay,
heavy, or dubstep. I really like this stuff called death step, which is like combo metal and dubstep.
okay.
Totally extreme, but also the extreme opposite of that, man. Give me some good Enya all day long. I can just chill. Give me some classical Vivaldi or something like that. Just I can totally do it. It's everything in the middle that I can't do.
Okay.
Country, like soft rock. It's neither here nor
Right.
there, man. I
One
need
or the
something.
other. One or
Yeah,
the
it's
other.
got to be.
I hear
Uh
you.
huh. Uh huh.
Okay. Do you have a favorite band of any?
Alice in Chains, baby. All
You and my
time
uncle will get
favorite.
along pretty good. You
Mm-hmm.
and my uncle will get
Mm-hmm.
along pretty good. All right.
It's a
Favorite
toss up.
actor.
Actor Brad Pitt, 100%.
Oh man, he's like. I think people look at Brad Pitt and think like he's like a woman's actor, if you will. Like women just like to look. But Brad Pitt murders some roles, man. He
I know, man.
really does.
That's the thing. It's both. He's easy on the eyes. Dude is just handsome as all get out, but some of his characters are just
I mean,
so good, man. Yeah.
in Inglorious Bastards, he was amazing as
Uh huh.
Captain Aldo Raines.
Uh huh.
You know what I mean? And then
Hmm.
what was the tank one? Fury. He
Fury.
was like
Yep.
he's just and then we said Legends of the Fall. He was amazing. He's just
Hmm. 12
Fight Club.
Monkeys is probably one of my favorite. Yeah,
Yes,
Fight Club is dope.
12
He's
Monkeys.
just
He's just had some legendary roles that
uh huh.
will never be forgotten.
Yeah, he's just freaking. He's good, man. He's freaking good. Yeah.
Favorite actress.
Um.
This one's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, so couple. Gwyneth Paltrow was always up there, just because I always thought she was super hot though too. Um. But I think Marissa Tomei is really. I like her New York accent. I think that's what I. Um. But I'd also. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say them two probably.
All right.
Um.
These
Yeah.
next two might be kind of complicated considering you told me you don't drink.
All right.
But we'll give it a shot here. I don't know. We'll
Okay.
say whiskey or brandy. Yep. See, I told you this was going to be hard. Now, I wish I'd have known the drinking thing before we got on it.
No, it's good, man. But let me answer it anyway. If whiskey sounds better than brandy, so
Okay, that's fine.
I still don't know the difference between the two, though. But
All right. So you probably wouldn't be able to tell me vodka or tequila either. So we'll just move on from that. Um,
uh, yeah, sorry.
we'll leave you alone, brother. We won't keep battering you with the alcohol questions. We'll move on.
That's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
Pizza or tacos?
Tacos, Taco Bell, man, that's my
Yeah,
favorite
man.
joint, dude. People always
See,
bag
I
on it,
love
talk
Taco
about,
Bell, but
oh,
I'm a
good.
Jersey boy, you know? So pizza is always going to rank pretty high for me.
Yeah, which I get, man. I totally get. Because there's some good pizza out there, especially when I lived in Chicago for a while, Rockford, whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Chicago style. Not everybody likes the Chicago style, but man, it's freaking. There's some good pizza. But if it comes down to if I'm in my head, all right, well, whatever they're pizza or Taco Bell, it's Taco Bell. Like
Right. I
never a
hear you, man.
question. Never a
I
question.
hear you. It's hard to pass up a good taco, man. I hear you.
Yeah.
Hunting or fishing?
Man, this all right. Fishing because I've never been hunting.
Okay.
Uh, but I was telling my wife, I was actually listening to Joe Rogan, right? Because I just didn't grow up in an area where anybody hunted, And so
Okay.
when I moved out here, and a bunch of different friends went hunting and stuff like that, I'm like, man, I hardly even never shot a gun. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I was listening to Joe Rogan a while ago talking, and it was um, with I forget, it's English dude, whatever, and he was questioning him. He was asking about like, what's the deal with guns and hunting, or whatever. And Joe was telling him, hey, look, hunting is a spiritual thing. It's this animalistic instinct that we have to hunt and kill, and it can be a very spiritual thing. And I was like, that sounds like something I need to do. And so I want to get into bow hunting really, really bad. Like I think hunting in general is tough, shooting a gun and killing a elk or deer or moose from, a few hundred yards away. Like that's difficult. But there's
Right.
something extra difficult about getting a bow and like stalking and getting them close. Like that just sounds
It's
awesome to
more
me. So
personal. It's a lot
yeah.
more personal. You have to get a lot closer, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, hunting with anything involves a
Yeah.
lot of discipline, a
Yeah,
lot of
totally.
patience.
Yeah.
But using a bow and knowing that, you know what, yeah, I spotted the animal a few hundred yards away, but that's not enough. I've got to get closer now without spooking this animal to get my shot.
Yeah,
It
that
just
sounds
involves,
hard.
it's hard, man. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I went when I was younger with a group of friends when we went with rifles, and his uncle took us out. That was amazing. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I went with my old boss. He took me bow hunting. And it was one of the worst days of my life, but it was amazing. It was
Yeah.
terrible because it was cold. It started
Yeah.
to rain.
Yeah.
I was down in the mud most of the day trying to hide and be quiet. But when my boss actually picked off a deer with his bow, just to watch the whole thing unfold, and it was an amazing experience, honestly.
Yeah. See, that's what I've heard, man. I've never experienced that. And I hear this is incredible bond, whoever you're with, whether it's friends or your dad or your son or whatever, or daughter, or I'd like to have that experience. I would for sure.
Yeah, man, I hear you. Nike or Reebok?
Reebok.
Yeah, see, I'm a Reebok. I don't get it, man. Everybody loves Nike, but I've been a Reebok guy since I was a kid.
Yeah. Same. Reebok and Adidas. I was actually been Adidas fan. That was just because of corn. They
I
always wore
always
Adidas
liked
stuff.
Adidas too, but more recently, one of the companies that whose shoes I've enjoyed a lot actually because of the way they kind of fit my foot and make my foot feel is that DC company. They make those
DC shoes.
yeah, the DC shoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really like the way they fit my foot and like they're
Yeah.
just comfortable, so I like them. And I know they're skater shoes or whatever. I can't skateboard, but they're comfortable when I want to go for a walk.
Yeah,
So,
man. Skater shoes are way comfy, man. Way comfy.
football or baseball,
Football, definitely. In
basketball or
fact,
hockey.
oh, regular season basketball, playoffs. There's nothing better than playoff hockey, man. Playoff hockey
Ah,
is
man, you know what? I hate
insane, dude.
hockey. I hate hockey during the regular season,
Yeah.
but playoff time,
Oh, dude, it's
absolutely
insane.
nuts. Absolutely nuts, man. Those guys are out there ready to kill each other to get the win. Like they don't care,
It's
and it's
such
amazing.
different. Yeah, man. It totally is, man. Playoff hockey is, especially
Um,
if you watch playoff hockey with somebody that like knows hockey and like I think doing
oh yeah,
anything with somebody that like is like brilliant at it is makes the experience that much better. Whatever it is.
and the passion of fans too, man. And
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like the crazy ones who want to throw stuff again. I'm talking about passionate fans who enjoy the sport and can talk about it. It's a lot
Uh-huh.
of fun to be around that stuff.
Uh-huh. Especially hockey because like that was one of the things that I didn't grow up playing hockey and really know that much about it. But when I was back living in Rockford, would watch Blackhawks. This is when they won like a couple Stanley Cups and stuff, and there's more than a few people that I would watch the game with that knew hockey, and they'd be able to point, hey, so this is like this shift is good because this guy's matched up with this guy, and then we're late on the shift, and so they're going to come. Like he would point these little things that I had no idea, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot more. There's a lot more strategy here than I realized. You know what I mean? It's like it made it a whole new experience.
Yeah, man. So you said football over baseball, right? And do you have a favorite team in football?
Yeah, I'm actually a college football
Okay.
fanatic. So since I grew up in Nebraska, that's my team. In fact, that's why those dots are red right here because of
Very cool.
Nebraska Cornhuskers. I needed to put something red on there for them. So yeah, I'm a diehard Huskers fan, like through and through.
And if the hockey playoffs are on, any team you're watching?
Yeah, man, the Blackhawks. If
Okay.
they're in it, just yeah, yeah, man. I love the Blackhawks. Chicago fans are freaking awesome.
Yeah, Chef, man. I don't know. I've refreshed it. I've done everything, man. For some people, it's glitching out like crazy. For other people, they're saying it's working fine. Uh, YouTube is just not cooperating perfectly tonight, guys. We're doing our best. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, man. I've tried to fix it a few times. I just don't know what to do anymore. But
I like what Rob here at Straight Bearded says. Bow hunting delivers peace. I think so, man. I think that's what attracts why I'm attracted to it. The idea of just walking through, and it's not some loud crack that echoes through. It's just the silent you and your prey getting up close, and like just the silent deadly act that's up close and personal. I mean, that's and being able to walk
no,
through. Yeah, man,
that's what it was. When I went
sounds so
out with
cool,
my
man.
boss, it was watching, like, he spotted the animal and he told me, stop. He's like, don't move. Stay right where you are. He got low. He started making his move, his approach. And when he actually made his shot and just watching the whole thing unfold down to him, he had
Mm-hmm.
this real, like, old school kind of, he like his, I'm trying to say this the right way. So he had a lot of like ancient beliefs. He
Yeah.
was Native American. He was from Native
Oh,
American.
tight.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
when
Yeah.
he killed an animal, he believed like that animal had to leave peacefully now and it needed
Sure.
time to pass on its own. And
Totally.
he had a lot of beliefs that made the whole experience very intense and very memorable for me for the rest of my life.
See, that's the way. I think that's. Yeah. I don't know if that's probably a wrong way, but I think that's the right way, man. That's cool.
Right,
That's very
right.
cool.
Um, all right,
Yeah.
man. We got a few more to go here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
MMA or boxing?
MMA.
Favorite fighter?
Oh man, I used to watch it all the time. Back when Ultimate Fighter and stuff was on. Who was my favorite? Um, man, I heavyweights were. I've always been my favorite, whether it was boxing or MMA. Of course, now I'm drawing a blank, but um, well,
Fedor,
yeah.
Crow Cop,
Oh, that was
anybody?
it. Well, I remember I was totally into Fedor, and I'm like, man, I wish he could come to UFC and we could get like
Yeah.
a
Back in
real,
his prime, it would have been great
yeah,
if he
man,
could have made that move because
yeah,
there wouldn't be any discussion of
I know,
was he the best, wasn't he? We would have known right then and there, him in his prime, the best UFC guys in their prime. Let's finally see who's the best and just be done with it.
yeah. But Chuck
But that's
Liddell
kind of the
was
way things
was
go sometimes.
I know, and so there's always that debate of who would have beat Fedor or this and that, but who knows? But a good fight is a good fight. Like
That's it.
lately I've been watching a lot of like Tyson Fury stuff, and that dude's awesome. I mean, just a good fighter is seeing
That dude's
Tyson start
awesome
doing his training, come back and stuff. Like, man,
because Tyson Fury's like 6'8" and he moves like he's 5'7".
it's
It's
huge, man.
insane.
Dude is huge. I know
He's
he's
huge, but
huge.
he boxes
Uh huh.
like he's a lightweight. Like he can
Yeah,
move, he can dance. I'm like, this guy is a nightmare for everybody. How do you beat someone like that?
I know that. And again, I think it's fun watching just anybody who is just a master at whatever it is they do. I mean, like
And
a
he
lot
is
of
a master at the
yeah, man.
craft.
I love, yeah, no matter what there is, like a lot of us probably, as we go on YouTube and stuff, from seeing guys like make a violin from or a guitar or like a pottery just to watch these. And so whether it's them or somebody fighting, just somebody who's artist at whatever they do is so much fun, man. So much fun.
Vato, you're absolutely right, sir. I'm getting another one back here. It'll be up soon, I promise. Um, favorite candy bar?
Reese's, if that counts.
That absolutely counts because it's
Yeah,
mine
yeah,
too. So that
yeah,
absolutely counts.
yeah.
Favorite chips?
Lay's salt and vinegar.
You're picking very well right now. I just want to tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man,
Um, Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson.
See, man, so many people have picked Tyson. I'm always amazed by this
I,
because the image is out there that Ali is the greatest heavyweight of all time, bar none. But a lot of people think that even though Ali might have been the best, Tyson would have knocked him out.
well, I think it's probably just the ages that you get, man. Like growing up with, I just remember I must have been like probably 8 or 9, and my dad had gotten this VHS cassette tape of the fight between Mike Tyson and Michael Spinks,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he was like, you got to watch this. He knocks him out in like 15 seconds or something. I was like, he does, and he puts it on, and I just remember watching Tyson do what he did. 2 shots and Spinks was out, and I was just like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Like this, that's
I
like the
tell
most
people.
unbelievable thing. And so being able to grow up with Tyson, who was just this insane boxer, literally insane. Like
Yeah.
that was something else, man.
In his prime, when his main focus was boxing and nothing else, I don't know if there were many fighters on the planet that could have beaten Mike
Dude,
Tyson, no matter what the era was.
he was just a bad, scary dude,
Yes.
and then as you hear about, like, it was really fascinating watching him on Joe Rogan and talk about his childhood and stuff and how just terrible it was and how rough he had it growing up. And I'm like, man, that does kind of suck, and
You wonder about him is if the trainer he had, Customato, if
yeah,
Customato hadn't died, how much different would his
yeah,
life have been? Because he trusted him, he
yeah.
believed him. And when he
I
died, he
know.
kind of lost his direction at the time.
Hmm. I
So you
know.
wonder, maybe it would have been different. Sir, do you
Can't wait to
watch pro wrestling at all, like WWE, any of that stuff?
No, man, I don't. I did when I was a kid, and then I just stopped. Just
Okay, well,
stopped.
how old are you?
42, 41,
All
about to
right,
turn
so then
42.
you might be able to answer this one.
Yeah.
Hogan or Ric Flair? Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair?
Oh, Hogan all day, dude. All
Okay,
day.
see,
I've
that's why I
never
figured.
really
That's
liked Ric
why
Flair.
I don't know, man. I always loved Rick, but Hogan just I don't think the wrestling business ever gets to where it is today without a Hulk Hogan. Like I just
Yeah,
don't think it
agreed.
ever happened.
Ultimate Warrior
Um,
is still my all-time favorite, but
that's a good one.
he's
That's a
so
good one. That
cool.
man was a lot of fun. He came out like a nut job. It was great. Um,
I know.
Apple products or Android?
Android.
Steve
Just because
Jobs, you're a genius. I just don't like your
I
products all
know.
that much.
Yeah, I'm just one of those guys where I'm like, oh, Apple's the most popular thing. Yeah, we're not gonna go with that.
I might be guilty of that myself. I
Yeah.
I might be guilty of that because I hate Apple products and I've never used an iPhone in once in my life. So I might be guilty of that. Um, there's a favorite historic figure.
Um, man, yeah, I don't want to come across as like super cheesy, whatever, but I would Jesus Christ, 100%.
That's fine, sir. It's your answer. Nobody
Just,
else's.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
um, favorite cookie.
Chips Ahoy, like the regular, like crunchy.
Yeah.
It's so good, man. Classic, so good. I could eat a whole pack. Give me a glass of milk and
Yeah,
a whole
my
pack
little
of just.
brother who lives a floor away from me, if we bought 6 things of cookies and gave it to him in one night, like 6 packages,
Yeah.
and like 2 gallons of milk to go with it, they'd be gone in about 12 to 24 hours.
Oh, that sounds
He
so
would he would
yummy.
destroy it. He would
Uh,
absolutely destroy it. Favorite cartoon?
the first thing that came to mind was Thundercats, man. Remember that? That was
Right? Yeah,
so good. I love
I was a
Thundercats, dude.
Thundercat addict when I was a kid, man. I had
Man,
the sword and
Thundercats.
everything. I was an absolute
Thunder.
addict.
A lot of good cartoons as a kid, man, but Thundercats was freaking dope. Chitara
Vampire,
was hot.
vampire or zombie?
Vampire.
Who would win in a fight? King Kong or Godzilla? Which we're gonna find out soon, probably. But so
Ooh. I like King Kong, man. Silverback, freaking cool, man.
all right. You already answered my one of my most 2 important questions, which is how steak should be cooked. But the biggest question in the beard community, the one that everybody wants to know the answers to, does pineapple belong on your pizza?
Yes.
Oh no, no,
Yes.
no, it doesn't, dude. It doesn't belong anywhere near pizza. But it's your
So
pizza. It's your call. But
let me qualify that statement real quick. When I was in Germany, okay, they there were some rather unique things that they put on their pizzas. One of which is a hard-boiled egg. They'll slice it, and you'll see that on most
Really?
pizzas. At least that's the way I remember it. Somebody from Germany's probably
Okay.
like, "What are you talking about?" But that's the way I remember it. And so ever since then, I've always loved like the creativity of pizza, and just like I love jalapenos on my pizza, and same with like a hamburger. You know, if you have hamburgers with, like, peanut butter on it and stuff like that, peanut butter doesn't necessarily belong on a hamburger, but if it's done right, it's freaking good. Pineapple's the same way. Just generically speaking, if you just some crap ham and crap pineapple thrown on, no. But when done right, oh, yeah, I don't think there's anything you can't put on a pizza if it's done right. Anyway.
That's your call, brother, not mine. No, no, don't put that pineapple anywhere near my pizza, sir. Nowhere near it. Well, guys, we are just about ready to wrap up because it is the school year time. I have to get Sam all situated away and all that good stuff. But like I like to do here before I wrap up, Chris, I got one more question for you, sir.
Please.
5 years from now, where do we see Kuhn Beard Care or Kuhn Lady or the whole Kuhn line? Where do we see it?
5 years from now, you will see Kuhn in your local, wherever you live, your barbershop is going to be carrying it.
That's your goal for 5. That's the 5-year goal, is that every barbershop, well, not every barbershop in the world per se, but every major barbershop in areas will carry Kuhn one day.
Yep.
That would be pretty cool to see for you, man. Because I know you wanted that to happen. So it would be cool to see it actually happen. And if I know the man sitting over there, he's going to bust his ass to try and make it happen. So.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for
chatting. No, I appreciate you coming on. Guys, thank you so much for joining us one more time for another episode of Meet Your Maker. We'll be back next week, 9 p.m. with Adam from Hanyaker Beards. And we'll be back here tomorrow night with Miners and a new launch on their CBD line. So, again, Chris, thank you so much for joining me, brother, for spending an hour and a half with me talking about anything and everything I could think of, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, totally, man. You're welcome. Thank you.
And guys, you know the deal. Stay safe, stay bearded, but most of all, be good to each other and take care of each other, all right? And I'll see you guys the next time out.